What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over essentially a 6-step Google ad strategy that kind of a one-size-fits-all strategy that can apply to a lot of accounts. You don't need to do this exactly in your account, and you can skip portions of this, like creating a performance max and demand gen campaign is something you might not want to do altogether. You also may not want to create a search campaign and just create a performance max. So it's really not a one-size-fits-all strategy, but it is kind of the strategy I would recommend if somebody said, can you give me an overview strategy for Google Ads for where you would begin and how you would basically approach it. So for me, the number one thing is we want to start with conversion tracking. So you can't do anything in Google Ads today without tracking conversions properly. So if you're an e-commerce website, you're tracking purchases and you're optimizing your campaigns for purchases and revenue. So basically, the biggest shift in Google Ads for the last 10 years essentially has been you used to do a lot of manual bidding and then let's see how this works in the back end. Now you're using bidding strategies called smart bidding strategies, essentially that are designed to maximize conversions, or basically we set a target for what we want to get for every single like how much we want to pay per conversion. So when we're building our strategy, we need to understand that the number one thing is first and foremost, getting good conversion data in. And the best way to do that is by starting and setting up our conversion tracking. Don't have any ads running in this account, so we're just using this as an example. But the very first thing you always want to start with is conversion tracking, either for e-commerce, purchase, add to cart, begin checkout. If you have a lead form for e-commerce or contact us, that's something you can still track even if you don't optimize for it. If you are on the lead generation side, you are optimizing for phone calls. There are other phone calls that you can optimize for beyond this one. And then the different lead forms that you want to optimize for as well. So if you have a contact form, you can track that. If you have a get a free estimate form, those are some of the different things that you want to track. So when you start building out your website, and we have a good example here from Higgsfield.ai. So they have all of these different image generators, video generators, audio generators. These pages all exist because these are the ways people search for it. So image upscale, that is probably image upscale tool. AI influencer, create and manage your AI influencer. And I can see it goes to a page for AI influencer studio. These pages exist and they do provide a really good way for people to just go through and create it. And you can see they have human, ant, bee, octopus, so you can have some fun with it. But essentially, these are all here because when you are running ads also, they are going to be a great way to make sure that you're running your ads to very relevant landing pages. So if somebody is searching for soccer equipment, you don't just want to say, okay, somebody is searching for the best soccer gloves there are. Yes, this page may work if soccer gloves happen to be at the top here, but what happens if they see this version of the page? Well, you still have gloves. If they see a version of the page with basically no gloves there, you have sleeves, you have waist pack, you have shin guards. It's like, all right, let's send people to the right page. And e-commerce, it's a little bit easier because when you create your actual products, you generally categorize them. So as you're uploading your products, you say, okay, let's make sure that we take all of our soccer gloves and we put them here on one individual page. And then now when we're sending traffic to this page, we can ensure that these are as relevant as possible. Same with really anything here. So anything that it comes down to, like if you're doing apparel, this is why they're broken down so much. T-shirts, outwear, compression bottoms, jackets, pants, like these are all different ways people are searching for things. Jerseys and T-shirts are in separate categories because people are searching soccer T-shirts and soccer jerseys, and they have a different meaning. So the other example is going to be on the local service side. I have this basically a fake service website, but corysturf.com. And let's say I provide all of these different services. I do not, but let's just say I provide services here. This website is loading slow. If I do putting green installation, turf installation, and I also have like sod installation and lawn mowing services, I need pages for every city, every service, so that when people are searching for it and they're located not in downtown Charleston and they're located 3 cities over, they're like, this, I'm really looking for a local company and not somebody that's just serving this massive area. Like you don't want to be the person who's serving Charleston, South Carolina, and you say South Carolina turf installation. It's like you really want to have a page that's like, yes, we do South Carolina, and yes, we do have a local office in Charleston, and yes, we support your local community too. So because people do look for those types of things, especially when it comes to local services and local products. So when you're creating your pages and developing your Google Ads strategy, landing page development becomes very important, and keyword research kind of goes along with it at the same exact time. So when you're actually building your keyword lists, tools, planning, go into your keyword planner here. And from there, you can easily build your keyword list, regardless of, whatever it is you're targeting. You go to the keyword planner, we discover new keywords, and I do AI video generation tool. We need to update our computer. We will postpone that for now. AI video generation tool. And essentially you're going to see, okay, these are all the different keywords people are using to target these. When we're building our search campaign, we could use these essentially as our keywords to target. These are going to work great for AI Higgsfield.ai and going directly to their AI video generation tool. Now, as we break it down a little bit more and you say, okay, what about, are people searching for AI influencer tools? So AI influencer tools, and essentially there's going to be something for this: AI social media influencer, AI influencer tools. So we have a few here. We could also come in here and say, okay, they have a great set of landing pages. That's why I always start with landing page development first. And once you have that great set of landing pages, then you could actually go and say, okay, let's take video. Let's go into this draw to video page that they have here. Okay, got in the studio. Now we have this turn any product into a video ad. So basically went to video and went in here, click to add, and it brought me to that page. So once I got into that studio, I basically just copied this exact URL. We go into the Google Keyword Planner, we enter that page, only that page, and now we have the actual keywords people are searching. Now, things with like AI ads, this is not really a keyword you want to target for a Google ad standpoint because there's no intent behind it. So you really want to focus on keywords, especially where there's a higher bid range at times, but these aren't the greatest ones either. But really you're going to focus on these: AI ad generator, AI advertisement generator, so that you can ensure you're targeting people searching for those, and then you send people to this page, and next step is getting them to actually convert. And that's the next set of challenges. But it works the same way here. We went over the gloves here. We go to our keyword ideas and we take our page and build that out, get results. This is why at times it's a little bit easier. Goalkeeper gloves. We have the most relevant keyword right here at the top. This is why at times it's easier to, when you're launching a brand new ad campaign, it's easier sometimes when everything is fully built out. You have all of your pages ready to go. All of your landing pages are already designed perfectly. In this case, if you took this, if we took an example like Orkin instead of Corey's Turf, for example, and we said, okay, Orkin's trying to build the biggest, set of local campaigns of all time, and you go into the locations here, you have, Orkin wants to build a Hawaii campaign. We could do that very easily. So even Honolulu, I won't try to say this, I'll butcher everything, but essentially it becomes much easier when everything's built out with your Google ad strategy to actually do your keyword research and your landing page development. Next is going to be build your search campaigns. So within your actual campaigns themselves, I generally go to the process of, very first thing I want to do if I'm running a Google Ads consulting campaign, start with search, and your goal is to get as many conversions in as possible from search. So it's a little different when you're running for e-commerce. Usually I'm starting with e-commerce and shopping. So in that sense, it's a little bit different. But for anything else that's non-e-commerce, I'm generally going, okay, let's take Higgsfield, for example. What are they trying to accomplish? We want new people to sign up. Okay. Anybody, great. What we're going to do is we're going to build campaigns, and we're going to say, maybe we separate image, video, and audio, but we're going to build a campaign and we're just going to say, okay, let's figure out all the different ways people are searching for AI video generation. Let's figure out all the ways people are searching for AI audio generation. And they've done a good job already with their pages. And you could also do this with your keyword research to basically say AI audio generation. People are looking for XYZ. They're looking for podcast interview voices. They're looking for music singing voices. So if you're looking for audio generation, how are people searching for that? That's why I always go back to kind of step number 1 and 2. Is conversion tracking set up? Yes, great. Do we have the landing page for the way people are searching for this? And are we targeting the correct keyword? And are we ensuring that from a Google Ads standpoint, our search campaign is targeting the right keyword, sending people a very relevant advertisement, and then when they're searching, they're going to a page that actually is what they're searching for. If somebody in Honolulu is searching for cleaning services and we send them to a pest control page, they're not going to be interested. But if somebody is searching for pest control services in Honolulu, Hawaii, we are in perfect position to get people here and essentially say, yep, contact us today and we will come and have somebody out there later this afternoon. So it's really that simple sometimes when it comes to strategy, but really you need to get the first 2 things right first. Is your targeting correct? Are your conversions tracked? From there, are you giving people a good user experience from the advertisement to the landing page? So with search, start with your highest intent keywords. That's why I always say with the keyword planner, I mentioned earlier, don't just target AI ads, target AI ad generator. Don't just target pest control near me, target pest control Honolulu. So you want to target your highest search intent keywords to start, because your initial strategy is to get really, really relevant search term clicks in. So what people are searching, you want the most relevant things possible. Your responsive search ads should be grouped together by ad group. So if somebody's searching for pest control, they see an ad for pest control and go to a landing page for pest control. If somebody's searching for termite control or bed bug control, you don't just want to send them to some standard, hey, we're an exterminator. It's like, send them to a page that says, yes, we do bed bug control in your area. So contact us, we're 5-star rated. It's really that simple. If somebody out today, you just need somebody to say, yep, let's give them a call. So the next thing is going to be negative keywords for search campaigns. That's the number one way to optimize your campaign, is adding negative keywords, ensuring that your targeting and your conversion tracking is set up well, and then adding negative keywords, because Google is going to go off the rails a little bit. It's just the way Google Ads works. And part of it is by design, because Google Ads is trying to find you people who are relevant and may be interested in your services, but just happen to be in a different path as far as what they're searching. But ultimately, a strong negative keyword list will keep you from showing up for really low quality competitive searches. For example, if somebody has a tree service, you don't want tree services for seniors. It's the first thing that's always going to pop in. So add seniors. It's not that you don't want to serve seniors. It's that people that are searching that are generally looking for a free service. Local electrician launches search campaigns for emergency electrician and panel upgrade before testing any broader campaign types. Maybe not the greatest example, but you don't just want to target the keyword electrician or electric services. It's like, you want electrical contractor near me, electrician near me, electrical services near me, solar panel installation near me, and give them an ad and a landing page that goes right along with it. So we'll keep scrolling down here. Performance Max campaign is generally where I go next. So I'm starting to get conversions coming in, and I'm saying, okay, we have, these are not real conversions, but let's just say, hey, we've gotten 102 lead forms and calls and total conversions coming in. So our conversions are working well. We're starting to perform pretty well. We're looking to get a little bit more beyond our search campaign. The next thing we want to do is start launching a Performance Max campaign. It's going to help you with retargeting. You can incorporate your audience signals. You can incorporate customer match lists. It's going to optimize based on the conversion data that's coming in. So what it's going to do is find you additional quality traffic that search may not have found otherwise, or from people that have searched and are in the process of basically doing research. If you're searching for the best AI video generators right now, you have 100 options. Higgsfield should run a Performance Max to say, hey, we want to run Performance Max, do some retargeting, target based on our current customers, target based on our current conversions that are coming in, and essentially try to get people to take that next step into actually getting to the pricing page and saying, you know what, let's sign up for this. With software as a service, the challenge is customer lifetime value has to be high, because you're just not going to drive new customer signups for a lot of pieces of software. Today, you used to be able to do it a little bit easier, but you're not going to do it today for, $5 per signup. So you just need a good customer lifetime value to really make it work. So for them, that's where I would go next, is launching a Performance Max campaign. From there, demand gen is what I'm going to launch after that. Demand gen is not something I'm running as much for a turf installer. Although with turf installation, you probably have a longer lead time. But for a locksmith, for example, I'm generally not running a demand gen campaign. Locksmiths, your demand is people who are locked out. So essentially it's one of those things that demand gen is good for somebody like soccerlocker.com to say, you know what, we're going to run some video ads on YouTube. We're going to run some display ads on Google. With demand gen, you're running across all of Google, which you also do with Performance Max. But demand gen has more of a focus on, why don't we essentially with demand gen, why don't we say, let's reach 50,000 new people with our offer. So if you're Soccer Locker, you're saying, we want Google to go out and find 50,000 very relevant people that haven't purchased from us yet. You can exclude people that haven't purchased, and we just want to get people in and see, can we get people getting in and potentially starting the begin checkout process, or at the very least adding something to the cart, or can we get people in and maybe we have some type of create your account and get 10% off your first order. Can we get some of those initial signups? And really down the line, if you're spending a lot of money, can we get people in to actually purchase? So with demand gen, you do want people to purchase, but this is really more, we're trying to capture people at the top of the funnel. We want to track, get to soccer fans and essentially people that are showing interest in soccer or maybe have children that are playing soccer and they need to purchase equipment. And we want to reach those people in the process of our Google Ads strategy. We're not going to do this until we have really good conversion data coming in from search, good conversion data coming in from Performance Max. In the case of e-commerce, generally you're going to start with Performance Max and shopping, but these are going to be kind of your main two. Performance Max, shopping, I would say they're separate. Obviously, they're completely different campaigns, but search and shopping, those are kind of the initial things you're launching with e-commerce. But Performance Max, shopping, search, if those three are working really well and you're like, how do we spend more money on Google and get a little bit more out of it? Demand gen could be something that you launch with a smaller budget. Same thing with Higgsfield is saying, okay, we want to start launching a campaign for running a video campaign showing exactly what our product does and why we're better than everybody else. So you need to basically sell your product with video at this point. That's one way to do it. I could also say, I'm Surfside PPC. I want more clients coming in. So what I could do is create a mix of Google Ads, consulting and management. I could do Google Ads, consulting and management, Performance Max. And let's say these are both at, let's say I'm spending $500 a day on these. Then I say, okay, let's build a video strategy where we say, are you looking to switch from your current agency? Or do you need help with marketing and advertising services? Or maybe we target specific industries. We pick 5 industries. We say, let's go medical, let's go local services, let's go e-commerce. You could even break it down a little further and say, we're going to go outdoor services, especially if it's like January, February, when things are going to start picking up in a few months and you want to start onboarding. So, or if it's the holiday season, you're saying, let's get your ads ready for the holiday season. So demand gen, that's kind of where it comes into play. You're running campaigns to essentially say, we want more leads coming in. We want more sales coming in. We understand that we're targeting people at the top of the funnel. Our goal from this campaign is not, hey, we need a really profitable campaign. You're saying we're gonna spend an additional $2,000 this month on demand gen and see the impact it has on our overall revenue, on our overall Google Ads performance, and whether or not it's actually showing that we're seeing some type of lift in our overall sales, volume, revenue, whatever it might be. You might notice no change at all. It might be, okay, we spent $2,000 this month. Our revenue went up by $4,000. Not really much different. Maybe we just put more money into Performance Max. So this is usually what you're going to do a little bit further on down the line, but it's something that makes more sense when you are trying to get more people to learn about your products and services. To finish off our Google Ads strategy, final thing is basically optimize your campaigns weekly. Review your search terms report, add new negative keywords, ads, assets. The number one thing to do now is just test. Create more site links, create a new set of ads, create more call outs, make sure locations, calls, everything is tied correctly how it needs to be. Bidding targets, budgeting, just adjust those based on what you're looking for in terms of performance. And then last but not least, conversion tracking is one of those things you just want to have an ongoing look at. Are we doing everything we can as far as conversion tracking? Is it as accurate as it can be? So these are the types of things that you're looking for. Not always the easiest, because when you're running multiple campaigns, things can go off the rails pretty quickly. So just reviewing search terms reports a lot, testing different types of audience targeting and different types of keywords, and retargeting audiences. So that's another thing in terms of our strategy, just using more retargeting and customer list targeting. But really our account is going to learn over time as we drive more conversions and build our customer lists and ensure that we're giving Google all of the data we can about our business. So if you have any questions about any of this, please leave it in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.